Hey, what's happening? Been a bit. I'll show you what we got going on here. So, can you see that track of that wiper? It's supposed to stop there, but it kind of continued on trying to clean the A-pillar, which is not ideal. So we're gonna try to fix that. So I got the linkage all apart here. Pulled out that little crank assembly there. This whole getup is only available as an assembly. And being that it's 2023, stuff isn't readily available. I did manage to find a new old stock wiper arm, which is nice. It was in the original FOMOCO package right there. Let's see, we got a part number. Yeah, assembled in Mexico, like everything. So this thing's pretty worn out. You can see the rust trails on it. It's been weeble wobbling around for who knows how long. The car's got 300,000 miles on it. It's getting ready to turn 38 this January. So she's getting up there. These things are gonna start going. So what we got, Ford, of course, had to save a buck and make this thing out of plastic, but I suppose you can't really complain. 37 years, 300,000 miles. I guess nobody at Ford Motor Company was planning on making these things last that long. They certainly aren't today, I'll tell you that much. But anyways, that's beside the fact. See, we got a little crack there. This is impossible to do two-handed. So I'm gonna see, yeah, I can do it with my thumb. You can see all the slop in there. So just that little bit of slop in conjunction with all the pivot points in that wiper transmission adds up to, what's that, about 3.5, 4 inches off to the side. And of course, once it goes over here, it's not coming back, it gets stuck. So, and with the wind pushing on it, that kind of helped it over the edge. So that's what we had going on. Wifey had to reach out the window and fix her wiper and then get off the high-speed roads and get on the pulverize your vehicle third world country quality back roads that we have here in Massachusetts. So I'm gonna see, can't find this anywhere. Nobody's got it. I got some numbers off it, ran it on Google, found nothing. So what I'm gonna do, I'm thinking, is grind this off to see if I can pull this washer off. Ideally, I'd like to press a brass bushing in here, but I don't have that kind of time. I don't feel like waiting, searching, measuring. I want to take the easy route. So my plan is filling this thing with epoxy, and then I'll drill it out to the proper size or close enough. Stick this thing back in here with a bunch of silicone grease on it, and I think we should be in good shape. And that'll strengthen up that little crack that you just saw. It's the problem with plastic. When it starts getting old, it shrinks. We as humans, we expand. So that's the plan. We'll see what we can do here. Keep her cool. Buzz that off and see if we can get that washer off of there. Clamp her in the vise, try to work it back and forth. So you can see there, I got it to move, but it wants to fight me. So a fight it shall get. And the battle rages on. God help me. You can see I've been working this thing. I can turn it with my fingers, but it won't come off. You know how infuriating that is? This should just come right off, and it's not. Story of my life. How about it? Mangled it. But we got it off. I can straighten that. Grind that down. You can see how much effort that took. Kept deforming it and fighting myself, but geez Louise, what a nightmare. Let's get that little shim. Now, get this thing out of here. This phone filming stuff really sucks. Let me just tell you. One-handed working. Okay. So do we know which? Oh yeah, look at this. Busted right in half. No wonder there's excessive clearances. That wood, that goes all the way down there. Perfect. Just what I need to see. I could also, I could fill that with epoxy right there in between the ribs, strengthen it up. But you can see how that's egged out. Boy, this would be so much easier if this were metal. This probably wouldn't have happened. Could have just put a brass bushing in there. Or bearings, you know, how about building something nice? Little bearings in there. Of course, then the car would cost $45 million and change. Boy, can't have it all in this life, that's for sure. Anyways, yeah, we gotta see what we can do here. Guess we'll grind that down, or wire wheel it rather. I gotta love plastic. At least it's 1980s plastic. If this was 2021 plastic, we wouldn't even be here because this would be totally broken in a million pieces. So there's that, I guess. So I got out the old calipers and measured that thing. It's exactly 0.37. Some sections are a thousandth of an inch smaller, so 0.369, 0.37. And just so happens the 3/8 inch drill bit is 0.375, so that gives me 5/1000ths of an inch clearance, which is a little bit more than I wanted, but it's got to be better than what I got right now. So I'm thinking the problem is, well, now that I lost the plastic piece, that's going to be helpful. But the problem is keeping the drill bit straight as it goes in. That's going to be a real pain in the ass because I don't have a drill press, so I got to do it by hand. And I just got to do it by eye, which is, used to be good at doing that, but I find as I get older, it's more and more difficult to not go diagonal or straight. You think you're going straight and you're going diagonal. I used to have a real skill for that. So this is what I've got going so far. I couldn't find the JB Weld I wanted. I wanted the marine stuff because it's got a slightly higher PSI rating. I wanted something super strong, but I think this will work. So that's what I did there to kind of strengthen that up. I'm going to do the same thing there. Then I kind of had a change of plans for the inside. I'm just going to fill it. But what I'm going to do is kind of push it down so I leave maybe 1/4 of an inch, just enough to get the drill bit started when it's time to drill, just to make things easier. I can actually probably go flush on one side of it. Whichever way. Actually, that side looks a little bit better, less egged out than the top. So we might, geez, it looks like it's cracked all the way through. It's crazy. So should probably fill all these little grooves in too. I don't know why they have that like that. Maybe it's designed to have a little bit of flex to it, but being that this is 38 years old, I don't think it's got any flex left in it. So we could probably fill that and get away with it, I think. So I'm gonna mix that up and keep on moving here. Hold on, I want to show you. This fits perfectly inside. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna fill it and kind of use this as a ramrod, kind of pack it in. Typical Massachusetts, gloomy and miserable. It's fall, it's not winter, but sure feels like it. Anyways, so this is what I got. I didn't really fill the whole thing, but as I pulled the drill bit out, it kind of made a nice dimple in there. So that's going to help with drilling hugely. You can see I reinforced that whole one side and this whole side with the two, and then I filled in the cracks there with the excess. So that's that. So now we play the waiting game and let this cure. So that's it for today. what is it, October 15th? God help me. This year just flew. Right. Many weeks have gone by. As it always happens. There's just not enough hours in the day. See if I can work this phone here. Of course, once you flip the phone around, it doesn't flip back. You gotta love that. Isn't electronics great? I tell you. Stupid camera. Anyway, got it all epoxied up, drilled out. Ain't so bad. It's a little tighter than I expected. I measured the pin with the calipers and measured a 3/8 inch drill bit, which is what I ran through there. Doesn't look all that straight, and it probably isn't, but it's better than it was, I'll tell you that much. But the difference between this and a 3/8 inch drill bit was 5/1000ths of an inch, which was millions of times tighter than it was. So I think this is gonna work pretty good. So what I'm doing now is I just kind of dry fitted everything and work this thing back and forth. It's a little snug. I'm gonna put some lube on there. I was trying to decide on what's the best lubricant to put in here. And it's kind of a toss-up. I mean, we got plastic here, so theoretically I could put silicone on there, but my thought was the silicone might work its way into that epoxy and break the bond. Because I know silicone and paint don't mix. Silicone and anything that you want to stick to something, you don't really want silicone on it. So my thought was, I have this space age grease that I bought over 10 years ago right here. It's called the Tribolube 9. Extreme pressure, low friction, wide temperature range, minus 65 to 350 for all kinds of heavily loaded gears. Meets some military specs there. So that was a battery failure. I'm telling you. Me and electronics. I just worked second shift tonight, so it's been a long day with the phone, so naturally the battery's going to be smoked. And of course, I decided to do this probably 1:30 a.m. right now. I'm on a second shift schedule, so that's all right. Nice and quiet at 1 a.m. Anyway, so what the hell was I talking about? I can't freaking remember, but I think I was talking about putting this in there, and it was a little snug. So I'm going to put some of that space age grease on there, see if that lasts, you know. That's all you can do. They don't make parts for these things anymore, so I got to make my own parts. So seeing that I'm tethered to a cord now, can't really show you much. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this back together. Of course, we got to stack up some washers, shim this thing up and down wise. And I got to tack weld the washer back on this without melting the plastic. So I'm going to get a little spray bottle of water, break out the welder. We'll burn that on there. And should be in business, and it's just a matter of putting it all back together. So being that this phone is starting to really irk me, I think I'm just going to bring you back on when I get it all assembled and get this thing working again. That's the plan, man. So I wasn't thinking I could bring this thing over and show you. So yeah, it's pretty nice now. There's not a lot of sloppity slop in there like there was. So what we got, what did I do with it? This is gonna be impossible one-handed. See if I can hold this with my chin. No, maybe. Oop, I can't function. Anyway, so there's a lot of meat sticking out of there. So I got a little shim there. I just gotta kind of pound that washer on there and burn that back on. So that is how that's gonna go. See if I can make that happen. That is that. Not my best welding, but didn't have a whole lot of room here. But that worked out real nice. Thing spins nice. It's tight. It's got very little up and down play. Nowhere near what it used to have, and it has zero rocking play that it had before. You could see that crack. It cracked right through, and that's why I did that big filler. Probably should have filled that too, but I think I got enough on here. There was a crack on this side too. So this thing, it's about run its course, man. 38 years, over 300,000 miles. I think we're close to 303,000, 304,000 on this car. On the original driveline. knock on wood. Front to back, never been touched except for U-joints, and only did a timing chain because I had to fix an oil and coolant leak. They don't build them like that anymore, that's for sure. But anyways, yeah, time to reassemble. A whopping 7% on the battery, so I think I might be all right for a little bit here. Anyways, there's something to be said about incandescent light. I broke all my LEDs. Kind of missed the nice orange glow of an incandescent. Well, this is a curly Q thing, so it's somewhat modern, but I like the light output. Anyway, it's more natural. This thing is awesome. I'm really happy with the way this came out. Very little resistance, and it's got next to no play in it compared to what it was. Man, this is like night and day different. I took up like 0.2 of an inch of play. Seriously, it was bad. So you can kind of see what we got going on there. There's the other blade. I don't know what my wife did. She must have went off-roading somewhere and blasted this thing with mud. Man, she probably got run off the road by somebody now in this state. But anyway, I digress. So all you gotta do is pop this little guy back on and put the wiper arm back on. Nope, not strong enough to do that one-handed. But that's how that sits. And so that's fully down. Where did it crack? So I put the majority of the epoxy where it cracked. So the crack was here. So yeah, I guess where it cracked is pretty much corresponds to where the wiper would be, you know, way up here. Because yeah, you figure it's coming to a halt, so that's got to put some stress on it, I'd imagine. You can see where it ran right off the side. I think I filmed that before, so we don't need to get into that again. So yeah, success. Well, I won't call it too early. Put this new old stock wiper blade back on if I can find it. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, it's pretty nice. You get this little helper arm, which not many cars have. I guess it adds a little bit of structure to it. There's plenty of cars out there that don't have that, so I don't really understand Ford's reasoning. I guess it pivots a little bit better where it, yeah, if you pull on this, see it just pivoted right there. Of course, I can't do it again because I'm one-handed. But yeah, it's got a kind of a cool pivot to it with that extra arm. So yeah, we'll go throw this on, see how it works. Yeah. All right, well, I jumped the gun on the moment of truth. I had to test it. Actually, I'm kind of zoomed way in. Let me try that, see what that does. Oh, go ahead, put it on accessory. It is not May 19th. Oh boy. What do we got happening here? I don't know how to work this radio. Oh boy, we're gonna get a copyright strike. Why do you work this damn thing? Here we go. All right, so we got that. Got the wipers, got the power. Let's give it a little squirty squirt squirt. Oh yeah. It's a little squeaky. That kind of sucks. I don't know if that's a blade or the friggin' repair I just did. Okay, well. It's working. It's stopping right where it's supposed to. And I got this thing. This is adjusted a little high too. I'll show you. Oh, it's 2 a.m. I gotta wrap this up. I still got more work to do. I gotta work on my Dodge. Gotta put a seal in the fuel tank. Yeah, see, that's sitting. I could go down another couple teeth on that. I might do that just to be safe. There's really no reason for it to go that far, you know. Yeah, we call that a success. Aside from that squeaking, it's a little squeaky, but at least we can see. Just turn the radio up. That won't be an issue. We'll see what happens with that. Anyways, yeah, so it's been a while. Wow, got this thing dirty already. That's nice. Okay, so good to see ya, peoples. It's been a while. So that's that. We'll see you on the next one, whatever that's going to be. We'll do some tires next.